My name's Sophie. I work at Open Door and Quayside Medical Centre. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I do here as a practice nurse. So I always wanted to be a nurse. Since childhood, I wanted to be a nurse. If people asked me when I was 6 or 7, I always said I wanted to be a nurse. And then, sadly, I lost my mum really young. So I was still at school when my mum died. And I was just surrounded by medical things in the hospital and then at home as well, because she was cared for at home. And I really wanted, the nurses made such a difference to not only the end of her life, but also our lives. And I really, even at that point, I wanted to do the same for other families when I got older. However, I was too young to do nursing at that point, and then so I went to college and then I got a job, and then it just doesn't really happen and life just passes you by. And it wasn't until I got a job here, at Open Door, before it was Care Plus. So I worked at Open Door in the original days of Open Door. And I started doing drug and alcohol work, and then just naturally progressed from that into the role of a HCA, and then naturally then progressed into nursing. And I was really fortunate that Care Plus funded my nursing degree. So I was really fortunate and grateful for that. I don't think there is a typical day. In nursing, I don't think there's a typical day, and particularly here, there is no such thing as a typical day. Most days I'll see a variety of things. I usually will have baby immunisations, maybe some preschool immunisations, probably a couple of blood tests, any other vaccines or injections for adults as well as children, possibly some asthma reviews or long-term condition reviews, maybe some wounds. But there's really never a typical day. You literally don't know what is going to come through the door. We do have a list so we can foresee a little bit of what's going to come in, but we do get a lot of walk-in patients in this surgery, and we do try and see them when they do present. I think supporting people when they are unwell or vulnerable or at a point of life that they really need help and support. And I also feel really strongly about people having the death that they want. And I really feel that being able to look after somebody when they're dying really is a privilege. And I would say that, although we don't do a lot of that here, that is definitely my favourite parts of the job. I would always advise anyone who wants to go into nursing, because I think, in all honesty, if you want to, it's a part of you and it would never leave you. So if you want to be a nurse, then definitely go into nursing. I think it is something you've got to want to do, because there are parts of the job that are not nice and traumatic, and there have been times where I've not been able to leave it at work, and I've been really, upset, affected by things. So I think you have to be prepared for that if you want to go into nursing. No, I don't have a specialism. I'm a general practice nurse, but I do think the role here at Open Door is different to a lot of other GP practices, mainly because of the patient group that we see. So we do have lots of we see the general public, but within that we also have a large percentage of our patients are hard to reach groups, so substance users, homeless, including rough sleepers, and they're a lot of socially excluded, so they are really difficult to reach, and they're often underserved in healthcare. So I think what makes our role different is that we really advocate for those patients and really strive to for them to have the same access to healthcare as everybody else, and to try and overcome the inequalities in health that they face.